And so let's jump forward to 87. You end up duking it out with Jackie again in what's one of the best movies ever to come out of Hong Kong. And it was being made in 87 for the release of Chinese New Year in 88, because Jackie's goal was always to release a movie Chinese New Year.
That's right.
And so how do you get the call for that? Are you Jackie again?
Jackie, his guy called and Jackie was right there and called and they said, Jackie's here, but he wants me. Well, because you know what, Jackie was constant. Anytime he had a chance, he would sit next to me. I was really uncomfortable because he sit right next to me and he wanted to, and I would be like this, you know. I said, man, what's wrong with this guy? And when he wanted to practice his English,
Oh, so he's listening to
he was
everything.
listening to what I was saying and he was practicing. So he actually, he was learning English in the first one. The second one, he was better.
Yeah.
He was much better in the second one, so he never sat next to me on the second one, right? But we were facing each other talking, and so
So talk to us a little bit in Dragons Forever. Why did it darken your eyes?
because again, they realized, I don't know if it was by mistake, but because of the lighting, made my eyes look darker because they looked like they sunk in. It looked like I didn't have eyes.
Made you look more evil.
Made me look
Sounds
scary.
awesome.
Scary, yeah, it's scary.
They made me look like, man, this guy, you know, does he have eyes or he doesn't have eyes, or you know, there were,
It stood out.
yeah,
It stood out.
that was
It adds an element to your
everybody out because of it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
was that again shot on location or was that a set that was built? That
It was
was on in a factory somewhere in Hong Kong.
Some on location, some on set.
So you're filming with Jackie. What's the comparison between Wheels and Meals and Dragons Forever? Because obviously now he doesn't need to test your abilities anymore. It's more straightforward, I'm assuming. So how long did it take you guys to shoot that? Because in many ways, that fight scene, in many ways, overall, I wouldn't say it's a better fight scene, but it's right. They're really
They're both really good at it.
so.
The reason for that is because we already knew each other. He knew I had impeccable control. He knew that I could take the impact, and he knew that I took nothing personal.
Now, when he kicks you at the end on the chest, that's not him. That's Chin Carlock.
Yeah.
At least in the film,
Yeah.
to cut the tubes, to take the tubes. Why was that? Was Jackie injured or what happened from the fight scene? So they just cut in Chin Carlock.
That's it.
How was he hurt? What happened?
Basically, you know, it was by then we were going full blast. Why? Because we knew we could.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, flipping, moving doesn't matter. Sometimes you don't warm up enough, and it's cool,
Yeah.
or you overextend. And sometimes you could, and we're moving quickly. They had to slow down the camera because we were moving too fast.
Yeah.
They kept on saying, slow it down. And I says, this is normal speed. We're moving. He says, slow it down. The camera can't catch what you're doing. So the only way they can catch it is to go high speed and then slow you down because we can't see what you're doing.
How was it working with Yuen?
Oh, that was fun.
I was just with him in Hong Kong.
That was,
Yes.
that was
He can move. You know, the interesting thing, I asked him to do a kip up. He got down
without his
He got down.
with the leg.
Yeah, he got down like a man of his age today, and he just went, and he came up like a 20-year-old.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
And that was just recently when you were over there.
8 months ago.
Yeah.
6 months, whatever, when I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he talked very highly about you. He's in Vancouver as we speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when did you get the call to do the Roadhouse stuff? Because at that time you had already done some amazing fight scenes. Did the production sought after you? They come after you, or how did that come about?
First of all, it was Chuck Norris's he passed away. I can't remember my dad. Can't remember. Good martial artist, but he was Chuck Norris is
Howard Jackson?
no, not Howard Jackson. The other one, you ever said that he passed away. I did the movie I did with him. And I can't remember his name. And but he passed away. But he
Oh, Pat Johnson.
Pat
Pat
Johnson.
Johnson.
Pat
Yeah,
Johnson.
Pat
From,
Johnson.
from, of course,
Yeah.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, Enter the Dragon,
Very
Karate
much so.
Kid. I mean, Pat Johnson had done it all.
So he's the one that already knew. He already knew because when I did exhibitions, he once said, "That looks so real."
Because he was a ref. Yeah.
He said, "Man, that looks so real." And I said, I'm good with live audience. If I can't do it with a live audience, they wouldn't be me on the camera.
Yeah.
But I had people with live audience. I had them hooey hopping on their seats. I had one. She said, "I can't believe you made pee in my pants." And I said, "I can't believe you just said it. I can't believe it before." So she said, "It was made you eat my pants." And I just said, I said, if I'm going to be believable, I have to capture people's emotions. I have to make you believe it is possible.
Right.
And he says, and that's what I do.
I have to bridge that gap then so he's the one that put you. Now, when you first met Patrick Swayze, obviously it's Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
You know, he's an ascot his own, but he's an athlete too, you know. But he had a hurt knee, correct?
Yes.
At that time. So how was it working with him?
I basically, when it came down to it, I asked him, "Do you have a double?" And he said, "You." I said, "I'm going to double you."
Oh, he wanted you to double.
And I said, "Do you want?" He says, "But I want to do this myself." I said, "So why do you need a double?" He said, "In case something should happen." I said, "Okay." I said, "And that's all fair." And so I said, "I need training with you. I need to understand you." Okay. And so he said, "What does that mean?" I said, "I need to understand you. I need to see just the way you move. I need to see it." And he goes, "Okay, we'll train at my house, in my ranch." And I go over there and I just watch him the way he walks, how he talks, how he eats, how he picks up things, how he moves. I just watch him. And I says, "Okay." So he says, "So in the choreograph, this is the character I'm playing." And he told me, "This is how I'm going to play my character." I said, "Okay." Now that I know how you're going to play your character, you know what I see from you? And he said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You move like a panther." And he says, "What does that mean?" I said, "You move like a black panther." He said, "What does that mean?" I said, "The way you walk, the motion of it, you remind me of a black panther. You remind me of," and that's how I'm going to choreograph you. And he said, "What?" And I said, "I'm trusting in you could do what I'm going to show you, but trust in me that I know, hey, I'm going to move you like a black cat." And so in that, all the moves I did, I made it catty.
Yeah, he's because he's a dancer. He can be as smooth. It's great.